Hello and welcome to Dad Rocks. I just emptied one of my vibratory tumblers and now we're going to have a look at some of the rocks. Come along with me and we'll do that now. So this is all that came out of the tumbler. The pile on the left is what I call a B grade, and the two piles on the right are what I would consider an A grade. They took a lot better polish, or they weren't just plain old rocks. And so anyhow, we're gonna have a look a little closer in at these. Here's the B grade first. As you can see, some of them didn't take a polish. There's some nice pet wood right there in the middle. And now let's jump over and take a look at, you can see the difference in the polish. Let's take a look at this A grade. See some obsidian, some quartz, there's agate in there and jasper. More obsidian, a thunder egg, more agate. I see a graveyard point there, Brazilian. But that's just the overview. Now let's take the time and go in and look at some of my favorites. Okay, we'll start out with this Brazil agate. A lot of what I tumble is saw scrap, or this was probably had a big fracture when I was cutting it, and so it made its way to the tumbler. But it's got some beautiful bending on it. Next is AZRE rock. You can see this has some really nice red moss in it. And so the other side, it's not a perfect tumble, but it really is nice. JJ, get outside. There's a chunk. It's blue agate. And she took a nice polish, got a nice banding in it. So it even has a little bit of parallax in it there. I like to tumble some nodules with soft outsides that they wind up with some real rough pieces of agate, just how they were formed, and that's what we have here. If I can get it into the, well, you can hear the dog getting a drink. But this came out of an agate, and yeah, I got a little stone still stuck in there. Next, I guess this is just chert. That's what it looks like to me. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. You can put it in the comments. But it's just a striped chert. But it's interesting. It took a pretty nice polish. Here's another one of those chunks that you can see is kind of wonky on the backside, and then it has some really fine banding, white banding in here. Next, just a piece of banded agate, fortification banded. It actually doesn't have any fractures in it that I can see. And it is a, it just wasn't a perfect one that I would polish, and so it made its way to the tumbler. Next, I got a piece of quartz. And it's quartz can be really plain, but it just had some interesting kind of reddish brown going through it. Wanted to share that. This one agate, it had some fractures in it, and I just cut chunks and tossed it in the tumbler. I love the banding on it, and it you can see quartz and a floater here in the middle, but pretty good stuff. Took a great polish. Here's a Swazi that try to get the color to show up well on that, because it's got some purples and reds. I think that might be it there. Took a great polish. I'm happy with that. The back's kind of busted up a little bit, but that's part of why it made its way to the tumbler. Next is a piece of Montana agate. And it was just out of a fracture from a saw cut. Little piece of crazy lace here. It got some wild patterns in that crazy lace. I really like that. Hope you like that too. Next, we're looking here at some rainbow obsidian. Walk back down a little bit. See if I can get the rainbow flash on it here. Well, it's not going to pop like it would outside, but in the sunlight. But I believe you can make that out, the rainbow in there. Next, we got some banded iron, I believe. I think this was just a broken piece of some iron that'd be, I guess, hematite. Another little chunk of agate here. Got some pretty banding there. Looks like it's got a little bit of shadow banding on it. There on the side, looks like it's dancing around. It's another piece of rainbow obsidian. See if this will cooperate a little better for us. Well, what I'm seeing in the viewfinder is not what I'm seeing in the, just looking at it under the lights here. But it's a nice piece of rainbow. Next is a piece of coprolite. And if you're not familiar with that, it's better known as dino poo. And so fossilized dinosaur poop. And so they look like they really laid a piece of artwork there. Shines up nice. Not sure what this next one is, but man, is it pretty. I don't know if I can capture the gold like I see it. I don't know if this is a gold sheen obsidian. It sure seems like the gold is stronger, or it's more pronounced than I've seen it in other gold obsidian. And this is something that broke off and made its way to the tumbler. Got a little geode pocket in it. Look like down at the bottom, it looked like it's got some flame plumes coming up that are kind of orangish. Some black moss maybe up top. This next agate's it's small, but it's got a real pretty pink band, and right under that is a purple band, and then it goes into gray. And that has a little shadow banding in it. Don't know if that's showing on the screen or not. So this is a broken thunder egg that has some common opal in it. And you can see the rhyolite on the outside, the opal and agate together here. And it takes a nice polish. Next we got some fossilized coral. You can see the details in that. It really shows up pretty, and it polishes real nice. I'm looking forward to get some cabs off of that. The little chunk of that agate that was all fractured up, but you know, it just had some good banding, and I wanted to tumble it. Took a good polish, And I like the bands. Another piece of coprolite coming up. And so it's got greens and reds and pinks, white. Got multiple shades of green in there. And even a little tan here in the back. So, coprolite. I like this piece here. It has orange banding on the outside, orange fortification banding with a big quartz pocket. Usually I'm not a big fan of quartz, but the contrast in that really makes it look good. I like it. That's a keeper. Next, it's not real shiny or not real pretty, but there's 3 rubies. And you'll be able to tell even more when we put that under the UV light in just a bit. And a piece of picture jasper. Always some neat patterns in these. And it didn't take a great polish. It's kind of a matte finish, but it really looks nice. I like it. And then some leopard skin jasper. And that makes some interesting cabs. It made a good polished stone as well. Here's some more leopard skin. This is more of a red. It has a lot more red in it off of a different rock. This one hasn't got a whole lot of color to it, but it's got some saginetic sprays in it. And I don't know if the camera will capture it or not, but it really has a lot of depth that you can see. And I'm going to move in and just try to hopefully capture that. And this on this side is just a ugly rock. But I put it in here because on this side, it is just full of amethyst sparkles in there. So it's got a lot of amethyst druzy in there. And so I found that to be one of my favorites out of this batch. Here's another piece of Swazi agate. And sometimes I don't tumble them all the way down to get the husk off of them, but and I didn't on this one. I didn't want to lose the fortification banding and that I had right here. I lost a little geode pocket, but here I'm not sure what this is. I think it may be opal. It's just got a milky white, but I like this side has just a buff, a tan on it that's really adds some character to the stone. And this one's not big, but it sure has some pretty colors, some fortification bands. It has a quartz center. And as you can see, it's busted up on the side. But, well, I'll get it back in the frame. It's busted up on the side, but, you know, it's nice to, it's a nice rock, and I enjoy looking at it. Next, I believe this is hematite. And so we're going to move right along. I got a bunch of this material in it. It's interesting. It has some neat patterns in it. This is just a chunk off of some that I cut. And I believe it's a jasper. But correct me if I'm wrong on that. Next, a piece of chalcedony. And this is kind of plain. It does have some inclusions toward the top. And on the back, I didn't tumble this out. I would have lost a lot more stone if I did. Next, a piece of petrified wood. And I'm hoping that the lights is catching this. It's got a streak of red right down through the center of it. I'm going to try to zoom in. And hopefully that's picking up. You can see the light reflecting off of it. It took a good polish. Sometimes pet wood does that, and sometimes it doesn't. And who doesn't love them some good looking blue lace agate. It's just a little piece, but blue lace is one of my favorites. Got a little piece of amethyst here. And this is a piece of snakeskin agate. I like the milky color that it has in it. It's just pure. I think it's going to make some great cabs. But I had several other pieces, so I just tossed this in the tumbler to make a pretty good sized tumble piece. And the last one we're going to look at, I think, is a crazy lace. It's got some gorgeous colors in it. And so hopefully I can, yeah. So it's got kind of a peachish, orangish color, and black and gray and pink, and then a light peach at the bottom. Lots of colors, lots of bands, and I got to get it back in the frame so we can see it. So that's that. Let's take and spread these out, and we're gonna turn off some lights and fire up a UV, and you won't have any trouble finding that ruby. It's gonna pop out red here. Let's zoom out. This one's really showing up well. That white is from the snake skin is really nice. Trying not to blow it out in the camera. Well, there's the ruby. You can see the red shining on it. Right now I'm using a 365 long wave. But those three are the rubies in there. How about the green in this one? Fluorescent green. Here's one that's fluorescent orange. And you can see a little bit of fluorescing here. And before we move these out of the way, I'm going to put that up, and I'm going to pull out the short wave, and let's see if there's any difference here. So you can see that the green's a lot more vivid here. We absolutely do not see the red on the rubies. But if you see a red light, that's a reflection of my clock here. This is that pretty peach looking piece. And you can see it fluorescent. That's shortwave. It's a 254 nanometer light. So I'm going to turn my light back on. We're going to push this to the side. A lot of chips in there. I take those and put them in little bottles and just fill them up. Just something to do with them so they don't, go to waste. Okay, so these are the rest of the A grade. And now we're going to go back with the 365. We'll go with the 365 nanometer. I'm guessing that's fluorite. It is fluorescent purple. You can see some of these fluorescent orange. That one's really bright white. That's pretty neat. Okay. So here's a piece right here that is phosphorescent. So it's gonna hold the light. And I'm gonna take the light away, and you can see that it slowly fades away, and that's phosphorescent. Okay, so that's the long wave. Let's see if it looks any different under the short wave. So the greens are popping more. You can see that they're really shining here. These here's another one that you can really see the green. I'm trying to get it into the camera there. Got a piece of pet wood. But anyhow, that's kind of what the short wave does with that. Turn the light back on. So now I got my B grade rocks up here, and we're going to have a look now under the long wave. You see a lot of yellows and some oranges, kind of whitish there. Let's see if we get anything different under the short wave. Yeah, you can see some purple showing up on this one. And again, you can see some of the whites. This one here's got some green to show off there. I'm trying to keep it in the frame here. Pretty nice green there. Another one that has pretty nice green. I don't know where it's. There we go. And one more green one. And we're going to call that a wrap. Thanks for joining me. And if you like this, appreciate it if you'd give me a like and subscribe to the channel, because there'll be more videos to come. Thank you for visiting us here at Dad Rocks. Until next time, take care.